apparently what was going on is that there's this guy named Brent, friend of Ashley Ball, and this is right when like the Brony thing was like, what's this? This is new and sensational and odd, and I don't understand. And everybody's trying to figure out what this whole Brony phenomenon is about. And Brent, a friend of Ashley, decided that he was going to follow her to this convention and do some filming and everything like that at this BronyCon. And I guess he talked to me, he interviewed me. I actually think I remember doing it. I think, and then afterward he goes ahead and when they were looking at I guess at some point during the convention they were looking at photos with Ashley, and Ashley just looking through these photos goes, oh, that guy was cool, and she pointed to me, I guess, as well as probably some other people or something like that. And I guess I somehow told her that I was a veteran and everything like that, and Brent thought, well, what better way to kind of get help, I guess you'd say, disenfranchise this idea that all bronies are homos and everything like that, and whatever, by trying to get a guy who's pretty manly, I guess, likes to do army stuff and everything, and has been in war and blah blah blah, And after that, they found me. Mike actually really helped Brent with this documentary. Mike, the guy who does the hosting for Everfree Radio, and Mike actually, by coincidence, actually happens to live next to where I am. I found this out at the convention, but he lives right next to where I live in the States. So that's really actually kind of interesting too. But anyway, so Mike hooked Brent up with my information, and they actually did an interview of me. That's actually going to be. This isn't like just some silly documentary or something like that. You know what I mean? This is some fan-made thing or whatever. Okay, those aren't silly, but you know what I mean? Like this is something made for TV and probably will be on TV. And I don't know when it will, but I know they just finished it up, or he just finished it up. And he went around and interviewed a lot of people, and this kind of leads to the next part of my story, because then there's another, okay, so like 6 months go by or something like that, from this point, actually maybe even more, and Brent says he wants to do, and this kind of it doesn't really happen. I don't really got the order right, but like Brent comes and he does an interview of me. He says he wants to talk to me, everything like that. So I ended up basically going to Canterlot Gardens. I know he was going to go to Canterlot Gardens, and because Mike was talking about it, and I decided, well, Brent's going to be in Chicago. I decided that, like, kind of spur of the moment, I'm going to go to Canterlot Gardens, you know what I mean, because Mike just said, hey, are you going? And I'm like, well, you know what, yeah, I start my new job after this weekend. I guess I can spend 2 days there. It's like a 14-hour drive. Yeah, I can make it back in time for Monday, start work. And I go ahead and I drive there, and since I live in Minnesota, in Chicago, like, you have to go around the Great Lakes, so you have to go through Chicago to get to Cleveland, where Canterlot Gardens was. This was like, I don't know how many months ago, like 6 months ago or something like that. Canterlot Gardens was, and he goes ahead and he says, okay, well, you can pick me up in Chicago, and then we'll drive the rest of the way to where we need to go. And so then I kind of actually made him that offer a little bit, and so while we were doing that, there was actually like a lot more filming. Like, he did like maybe like another 4 hours of like filming of me, like interviewing, talking as a maybe not that much, but as like a car ride, because he said he always kind of wanted to do like those car ride interviews or something like that. So he's sitting in the back seat and he's interviewing me. It's like late at night and everything like that, and I'm driving. And this is asking a lot more general Brony questions and everything like that, as opposed to just my military experiences and everything. So I really have no idea what kind of presence I have in this, but I know there's a pretty tremendous amount of interviewing, and a lot of the interviews he got weren't really what he was looking for, but he said he really liked mine. So that kind of tells me that it might be weighted in my direction a little more than others. But who knows? So that's really exciting. And then hopefully that comes up pretty soon, and I can also post at least teasers to that on this YouTube channel after I'm done. This is like my first of many projects I wish to make and stuff on this channel, hopefully. So we go ahead. I go ahead and I go to Canterlot Gardens, and because I know Mike, and I said, okay, we can. I can, because I'm with Brent, and the idea was that I was going to help him with maybe some filming and stuff like that. So I get to get a press pass, and as you know, Everfree Mike just hosts all pretty much every convention right now. So he's so he can give those things out, and I can just say I'm working for Everfree and everything like that. So I did help. I helped them with everything like that. I actually really liked it. You go to enough of these conventions, and you get to the point where you just kind of want to help instead of just basically just be there. It kind of gives you a little more sense of purpose and everything. So he goes ahead and he sends me to to like these or maybe not sends me Mike Brent says I can pretty much do whatever, and Mike says, okay, why don't you help with the cameras and stuff like that, and watch and babysit the live stream and everything. So he ends up giving me over to doing these kind of tasks, and basically while we're between panels and stuff like that, because they have these voice actors panels that come up and everything, and so between panels I get to basically just sit and chill and talk to all the cool talent that comes through that way, and that it was just amazing. And then to wrap it up, at the end of the night, like this started, okay, so at the end of the night, like not at the end of the night, but like maybe right at sundown, and it's kind of getting towards the winter months, so that's probably around like 7 p.m. or so. All the voice actresses and ton of the talent from the show are just chilling at the hotel bar, drinking. And then Andrew Francis, which does Shining Armor, he got his pregame on. He came down from his hotel room, and he had like 6 bottlenecks in his hoodie, and he's just being hilarious. He's going back and forth with Mike Bernstein, going like Dr. Francis, and then like Dr. Bernstein. You'd have to be there, and he's just being a riot, and then I kind of like after that, like they're sitting at the bar, and I just go, I'm gonna buy them some drinks and stuff like that. So I go and I buy Andrew a drink, and I ended up eventually buying Peter New, Big Mac, a drink too, and everything like that. And Andrew was just having a ball. I don't know how he was probably drunk the whole night. I don't know, or just handles his liquor really well or something like that. But he was just off the hook. He's sitting there dancing Gangnam Style, and that song came up like every 3 minutes at the bar, like every other song. And he's just, this is my favorite song. And so, I ended up getting to the point where I guess, like they trusted me or whatever like that. Security was like, didn't want me to, but Andrew's like, nope, this guy's with me. So I ended up following them, Peter New and him, up to their hotel room and just getting some more drinks and talking, and Peter New does like the best Andy Dick impression I've ever heard, and it's just it was the funnest time. And then it's just really great to get to actually know these people and humanize with them and everything like that. And and that's the biggest thing, is that if you ever want to, these people are humans, and you just gotta, if you just act yourself, and if you have something of worth, then I think they're gonna recognize that, and they're gonna want to include you and stuff like that. And I think this show does an absolutely phenomenal job of doing that kind of stuff for the fans and everything like that, just kind of including them. But maybe not so much these days. It's gosh, with all the everybody knows how season 3 ended, and yeah, it ended. It pretty much just killed the fan. It was a loaded gun. After the derpy gate incident, and basically like Hasbro's meddling in the fandom kind of really messed up, or kind of messing with the show really helped, I think, help distance the fandom from the actual show a bit. And they continue to do that stuff, all that meddling, and with taking down stuff and making it hard and whatever, you know what I mean? But like the good days are gone. We're gonna have to deal with what we get today, you know what I mean? It's not the kind of free reign that we had before, which was just absolutely fostered creativity in all sense. Now we're starting to get into the world of business and ethics, and not ethics, but like, you know what I mean, where money talks, and that's just going to be the rule of thumb. So anyway, so another thing too is like, which kind of really wrapped up that night, is after I came down, Andrew Francis and whatever, you know what I mean.